A lot of people have been asking if the Coeur d'Alene housing market is slowing down. So let's talk about that. I want to give you the answer up front in case you don't want to hear about the stats. I like the data myself. So the short answer is no. The Coeur d'Alene real estate market is not slowing down. The data is going to show us some interesting things. And I think it's fair to say that buyers are certainly feeling some hesitation. Sellers are feeling some uncertainty. And I think that the cause of a lot of that is just the national news coverage. I mean, if you turn on the news any day of the week, they're predicting the end of the world tomorrow. That's just what sells. And so lately, especially, it's created a lot of uncertainty in the housing market. And also, I guess another interesting thing to bring into this discussion is, what are we comparing it to? If we're comparing the real estate market in Coeur d'Alene in 2026 compared to 2021, absolutely it has slowed down. But as crazy as it is to say this out loud, 2021 was actually 5 years ago. And so things are going to change over a 5-year span. We're not in the COVID craze that we were in any place in the country. So what does the data actually show us? Well, what we're going to look at is I've got some old school paper copies here of some data in the market from 1 year ago and from right now, February of 2026. So we're going to look at what the market looks like by comparison and what that can tell us about what it's likely to do moving forward this year. All right, so let me just run through a few of these numbers. This is for the greater Coeur d'Alene area. This is not the entire Coeur d'Alene MLS, so this isn't including Sandpoint, Silver Valley, any of that. Number of active listings 1 year ago was 1581, and today it's 1549. Very, very, very close, very similar. We're going to find that as a common thread here. Number of pending listings, 544 a year ago, 511 now. Again, we're within 8% or so. So that pending ratio, you got 34.4% last year, 33% this year. Months of inventory. Now, months of inventory is a very important metric in the real estate world. What that means is if no more houses were to be listed, how long would it take for all of the inventory to sell? 1 year ago, that number was 2.9 months, and today it's 3 months. What we generally say is if you're at 1 to 3 months, if you're at 1 to 3 months, you're in a seller's market. If you're at 3 to 6 months, you're in a balanced market, and 6 or more months, you're in a buyer's market. It's been interesting to see that number so low and stay so low since COVID and still see a shift from what feels like a buyer's market to a seller's market. I guess I'll get into that right now. So it feels like there's been that shift because even during COVID, we had very, very low months of inventory. But there were bidding wars. There were, people paying way over asking price, and we don't see that now. Rarely do you get involved in a bidding war as a buyer. Rarely are sellers getting more than asking price. Again, it happens, but it's very, very rare rather than common, which it was during COVID. So that's been interesting to see the culture change without the months of inventory changing all that much. All right, what do we got next? Let's go with the average sale price. So the average sale price 1 year ago was $655,000. That's kind of crazy. And again, this is not representative of the entire MLS, but this is the greater Coeur d'Alene area. So 1 year ago, $655,000. Now, today, it's $735,000. So while we haven't seen huge changes in the number of listings, the number of sales, we have seen a reasonable, maybe even more than reasonable, increase in property values. And I think that's really, really important when we're talking about strategies moving forward, which we'll get to that in a minute. So we've definitely seen that increase in value. And actually, while I keep saying this is not representative of the entire MLS, in the MLS as a whole, that median sales price is about $580,000, which is a historic high. We've never seen that before. List to sell ratio, so how many of the homes listed sell? A year ago it was 96.8, today it's 96.7, almost exactly. And then days on market from list to sell, a year ago was 104 and today is 103. So as you can see from the data, the markets are, I hate to use the term identical, but they're very, 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 very similar a year ago to today. So what does this mean moving forward? If you are a seller, we'll start with sellers. If you're a seller, what this means is the market is not what it was in 2021. So you can't expect that. You can't expect multiple offers over list price. Now, again, there are things we can do. There's actually a lot of things we can do to try and drive that, to really market the property in such a way that we can potentially get things like that. But don't expect that if we list it over its value that it's going to sell. Reality is it's going to sit. And you have a 7 to 14 day ideal window. If we price it right, we're going to get offers during that time frame. And that also is what some of this data shows us. Again, if we have only 3 months of inventory, what's sitting on the market are those things that are priced outside of what the market will bear. All right, let's go to buyers. If you're a buyer, what does this mean for you? This is my opinion. What it means is if you're buying a house for yourself and your family to live in, buy it. Get into the market. Home prices are only going to go up. This is now, again, my opinion. Are we going to see a dramatic decrease in home prices? I don't think so. I mean, if World War III starts, we'll see all kinds of crazy stuff happen. But again, that's not something that I can foresee on the horizon. So if you're a buyer, really do what it takes. If you got to get some savings in order, if you got to get your credit in order, again, let's have that conversation so we can move forward and make that happen for you. Because as you can see year over year, property values are going up. Nationwide, we've seen regional things happen. Some areas have seen property values go down dramatically over the last few years. Some have seen them go up. Some have seen them stay stagnant. We're seeing a lot of areas, again, pockets where prices are going down right now. We're not seeing that in Coeur d'Alene. For better or worse, Coeur d'Alene is a place that people are moving to. Some of the locals hate it. The people coming in love it. It's just the way it is. And so if you're buying a house here for yourself, get in the market because waiting will likely cost you more money. And I'll add the caveat, get in if you can. If it's going to be a financial burden on you, then maybe wait, save up some more money. Every situation is different. So let's talk about those different situations individually. Last thing. What was the last thing I wanted to mention? Oh, my opinion. That's what it was. What I think is going to happen in 2026. Again, this is a snapshot of what's actually happening right now. Over the next 12 months, what are we going to see? Well, I always tell people that my crystal ball is a giant black sphere of granite. It's really, really hard to see, but I'll tell you what I think. I think that things are going to be very similar to what they were last year. I know Trump really wants to lower interest rates, and I don't think that the data support that. I don't think that we can reasonably lower interest rates and not expect inflation to go way up. So while he's pushing for that, and I understand why he is, I don't think we'll see it, at least not in a dramatic fashion. If we do see interest rates go down, we're going to see prices go up. Proportionally, for lack of a better term, we will see the prices go up. So I think it's going to be very similar to last year. I don't think we're going to see major swings in interest rates. I don't think we're going to see major swings in if it's a buyer's market or a seller's market. And honestly, it's a pretty good market for both buyers and sellers because nobody has a substantial upper hand. Working during COVID was very, very interesting, eye-opening, and I didn't like that sellers could call all the shots, that buyers were waiving inspections, they were going over asking, all these things. I didn't love that. Right now, it feels very balanced where both sides can negotiate. It can really, truly be a win-win. It's a good time to buy and sell in Coeur d'Alene. Looking to the future from an investment standpoint, again, I think property values are going to go up unless we see World War III, which again, nobody can foresee. And at that point, arguably, we have bigger problems. Coeur d'Alene real estate is fun. It's a fun market. There's such a variety of properties, and I would love to help you find your dream home, find your next investment property, whatever the case may be. Feel free to reach out. My number is 208-277-8471. And until then, keep living the dream.